So today on our little episode, we're going to save some money by not having to call a plumber. Okay, so the camera probably does not pick up sound very well, but if you listen closely, you'll hear the fill valve running. And if we take a look inside, we can see that the water level is overflowing the top of the fill tube, which is just wasting money going down the drain, right? And pull this all the way up, doesn't do anything. Push it down, you hear more water coming out, and pull it all the way up, and it doesn't stop. Crank on this, it doesn't even try and stop. And what's probably happened here is recently the local municipality did a chlorine burn on the water lines, which they increased the chlorine content slightly in the system to be able to kill off any bacteria and disinfection. It's common practice. And I've noticed when that usually happens, usually things like these little rubber diaphragms or your flapper valve go out. And that's what happened here. So, the things to do this job won't be very hard. You'll need polypara pliers, have a crescent wrench, a slip joint, and a needle nose plier set there. Probably won't need most of those. Most of these things go together pretty easy. First step is turning off our water supply so we save our precious water and our utility bill. And there you go. You can always find the shutoff usually right by the base of the toilet. And as you can see, the supply line runs up here and to the bottom of the toilet. So, the next step we need to do right now is we need to flush the toilet and get some of the water out. And you're not going to get all the water out, as there will still be some water in the bottom of the bowl. But as you can see, this gets most of it out. And the fill valve is not filling the tank anymore because we have the water shut off. So we can disassemble some of this. We can pull this little clip out right now because we don't need that right now. And I am going to go get a little bucket and put underneath where the fill valve comes in, because that's where we're going to take apart this and the water will drain out. So I'll get to that and we'll start up next. Okay, so I got me a small little bucket here. And as you can see, supply line runs up here, and this style is pretty nice. It doesn't have a real actual nut. It has like this wing nut on it so that you can undo the supply line, and you're going to get a little water out of here, hopefully not a huge amount. There we go. That's what it has. It has a little rubber gasket in there and a little flare fitting, and then this particular unit has another wing nut for the filling tower. So we just get all this off, and of course when I pull this up, we're going to get some water coming out of here. Hopefully most of it goes in said bucket. So we'll come up here, we'll pull this little tower out, and there we go. As you can see, it's coming out into the little potty bucket, my child's training potty. And this is the old filling tower unit, and there's a rubber washer on the bottom here that seals against the base. And then this is the float mechanism that comes up and turns the water off when it's supposed to work correctly. We're going to be replacing it with this newer unit. It's a little different. It has a float inside this black box here. Still has the flow valve coming out here to fill up the bowl with a little control knob to kind of adjust the flow to how much is going into the bowl. So we'll put this inside here, down in there where the old one came out. There we go. Oh, a little more water came out. And I'm going to grab all the hardware out of the supplied hardware here to be able to hook this up to our toilet tank, and we'll get on that next. So we have the old filling tower out. We have the new filling tower in, and I've already adjusted this one. A lot of these newer ones are multi-adjustable for the height, and this particular unit has the water fill level right there, and they want you to make this part right here, this gray top part, flush with the top of the toilet bowl fill tube. So what I've been doing is I put this guy in here, and there we go. I use a wrench, because a wrench is pretty level to go across, and of course I don't have two hands right now, I have one, to make sure that it's lined up with the bottom of that tower, the gray part on this tower. That has already been done, so I'm good there. The next thing is, when you position this, you want to make sure it's out of the way of the flushing arm. You don't want it to be under it or above it like that, or somehow interfering with this. So on my particular toilet, I'm going to have to put it somewhere in this position. So now that's done, and I've locked the adjustment down, which is just a counterclockwise on this one to undo it, and clockwise to lock it in place. So now I can put that in there, like that, and we can take our nut to put on the back side. This one has a beveled surface, and it even says this side up to make it easier for us. And this is, once again, is a wing nut style. The older ones, very older ones, are more of a plastic nut. This is actually really nice because it goes in pretty easy. So we just go down here and we thread this on and tighten it up. And then we'll probably have to use two hands at this point to line everything up. Let's see if I can get this up in there. It doesn't take a crazy amount of force. This is all rubber gaskets to seal it. So it should not take so much to make this tight. Alright. There we go, folks. Okay, the next part is to put this inside my fill tube, which will reattach here so that it will fill water in the toilet bowl. And right now they want you to mark the level of your toilet water so that you can, when you go to adjust this, that you'll get it back to the same level. So I'm going to turn the camera off because this is going to be a two-hand operation for me, and I'll probably get some sort of marker or something to do that. Okay, so as you can see, I have my filling tower clear of the flapper, clear of the actuating arm with the chain. I have my little tubing that goes over here, goes into the toilet bowl filler here attached, and as you can see, the hose, I had to cut it. You don't want that to be kinked. They send you more than you need usually because they don't know what type of toilet you're actually going with. So that is all installed. I have the little nut down here is all tightened up, and now it's time to reattach the supply line. Just as simple as this. Now, of course, once you get this all tight, you'll check for some leaks. And there we go. That should work for that. You may have to buy a new line depending on how old this line is, and if it starts to leak, you'll have to go to the hardware store and buy a little line. So I'm going to get a little towel, dry everything up, mark the toilet bowl, and then we'll adjust it, and then we'll be on our way. Okay. So we have it in there, and the water level is just above the factory fill line. I'll see how acceptable that is. We're going to flush the toilet, and I tried to use dry erase marker, and apparently that didn't work so well, but I can tell visually where the line used to be for the previous water filling area line. So, checking for leaks. There's no big bad boy leaks over there so far. So we're going to flush the toilet. It goes down, and as you can see, the water's filling in through the tube. This model has an adjustment right here that I can make to fill up the bowl quicker or slower. And we're going to watch that level. Some toilets should have a little bit of a stainage. You can see where it usually is. And this is going to be trial and error. But that is pretty much the basics to a minor toilet repair. This is a common repair that people have to make. If you've never done it before, it is very easy, and this brand at my local box store was $11, made in America fill valve. So not a very expensive fix. If you had to call a plumber, I'm sure it's an $80 service call plus parts. As you can see, I need to add a little more to my fill level. So what I'm going to do is turn my little adjustment knob here a little more, flush again. There we go, you can see it's flowing more water. In the bowl. Simple, boring stuff. So, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is how to replace the filling tower on your toilet. If you've never done it before, it is a simple thing to do. This is the kids' bathroom, so having a valve that's not leaking in there is good because they use it a lot. And this will be a simple home project that I think anybody can do. This one did not require any tools, but like I say, you may have to have a wrench or two to be able to take the line off on an older toilet. Alright, boys and girls, so that's it. That's how to fix your toilet. Pretty easy, simple solution there. And this is Mr. Matt signing off and reminding you to please like and subscribe to the channel. I'll have more ideas and helpful home tips for you in the future. Goodbye.